Hello, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm just going to continue the projects I was working on in the last video. I ran out of time. This one is more of like an experiment with color. I said in the last video I got new pigments from Homeware Co. on Etsy, and I never really worked with color in Resincrete before. It was really difficult to find um, pigments that would really give a significant color shade. It was always super pale light and yeah, just not a lot of bright colors. So I was excited to try these, and I just wasn't sure how they were going to work together because in resin flows, it blends, it will marble, it'll do everything on its own. You don't really have a say in what it does that much, but in Resincrete, it's not going to move. It's not going to blend unless I or you blend it yourselves. So I was just interested in what it would look like, basically. So if you're interested in experiments and seeing it, then maybe this will help you out and see the mistakes that I made. And the first one will be in the first pour. I thought I'll do a dirty pour to see what it looks like. Of course, not thinking the colors are not going to blend together. They're not going to move. So yeah, I probably should have thought it through more and maybe poured it like I poured it, but swirled it more. So there was more color distribution throughout. Yeah, I didn't get a lot of that. So you're going to see, I won't give it all away, but yeah, I'll just let you watch and then I'll come back on the second one. Okay, so the first one's poured and on to the second one. This one is just, sorry, dropping in two different colors. I'm just going to do like maybe 4 or 5 drops per color and then just giving it a little swirl. Not really mixing it in, but just like a quick swirl to kind of blend the colors a little bit. And then I'm going to pour it into this pumpkin mold again. And I, of course, did not, sorry guys, mix up enough. So I ended up having to go back, mix up more, do it again, which made me a little nervous. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to match it or if there'd be too much pigment in the second one because I didn't mix up enough like the same amount is what I'm saying. So I wasn't sure the ratio between the Resincrete and the pigments would be different enough to make a difference in the swirling. If I'm making any sense. I'm distracted by my dog as always, but yeah, it looked kind of cool. It had like a nice like swirl, and I like the two colors, the blue and the green together. I just wish I would have made enough because I don't know. I also think maybe I should have swirled it a little more. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I like how it is in there. That's kind of what I wanted to get in the jar, but I don't know. It came out a little different. A lot of the pigments, I will say, kind of drop to the bottom more. So a lot of the color wasn't in like the middle of the pour, if that makes any sense. It would like pour out the color, and then it seemed to go more white, and then the rest of the pigment was like at the bottom of the cup that I was pouring out of. So anyway, I'm rambling. Just mixing up more here. Gonna do the same thing, pour it, and then I had a little extra. I actually made, of course, too much, so I poured it into, I think, just the lid of the jar I poured in the last one, and I'll let that cure, and I'll be back for the third one. Okay, so we're finally on the last one, almost done here. So this one I'm going to use 4 different colors, all fall colors. Hopefully all go together, but I'm just going to use one color to color a little bit of the resin. I keep saying resin. Resincrete. I'm going to pour a little Resincrete into a smaller jug or jar or cup. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of color, the yellow. And then I got another cup, and I'm going to kind of layer the colors. I'm going to pour a little bit of the yellow, then just drop a couple drops of a color, and then I'm going to pour a little bit of the yellow over that, then drop a different color, and so on and so forth. I'm just going to kind of layer it. Maybe it'll make more sense when I do it here. But yeah, just a little, drop some color, pour that over it, drop a couple drops. Me hoping I'm not adding too much pigment, but yeah, and I'm just going to kind of make it like swirl naturally. I'm not going to like go in and give it a real good swirl. And just hopefully the colors will kind of blend better because they're kind of like in layers, so to speak. They did kind of settle a little bit, but I just gave it a gentle swirl. And it did kind of mix a little, but I do see some swirling. Obviously, I'm not in frame, sorry. But yeah, and the more I shook it, and just played with it, the more the colors kind of moved and swirled on the back at least. I don't know what it's doing on the front, obviously, but yeah, I just poured extra in some butterfly molds. So I wanted to do it, this was a mistake. I wanted to also do it in a jar, like I said, to kind of see, the difference between a tall mold and a flat mold. But again, not thinking, you can't just let Resincrete sit for too long because it cures very quickly. And so by the time I got to this jar here, it was getting pretty thick. And I started to panic, and then I forgot what I was doing. Like, I was like, what did I do before? It was just like 5 minutes before this, and I literally blanked. So I just started winging it, and I mixed this like a little darker color, and then I had to add the white because I forgot to mix the color. It was just a mess. I don't even know what to say about it. I don't know what I did. So what I did was I mixed a little bit of the white, I dropped some color, then I added some more white, drop more color, so on and so forth. And I had to work super fast here. I didn't have time to think or really do much because it was really, really clumpy. So I ended up just having to quickly pour, and I don't even know if I got it all down in the mold because it was so thick. And yeah, you can see here, it's really hard to swirl. It's just basically going into one color. Yeah, it was kind of sitting on top, and I had to keep trying to get it to go down. I overpoured a little, but it was super thick. I by the time I went to wipe it out, I couldn't. It was too thick to wipe. You'll see here, I couldn't even wipe it. It was already curing. So yeah, lesson learned. Mix up separate batches. Don't just let it sit there. But yeah, I'm done. I'm just gonna let this cure, and I will come back and show you the final results. Okay, so everything is finally cured, and I already demolded it, so I'll save you that watching that whole process. But yeah, we're gonna start with the initial dirty pour. Um, I I don't know. I have mixed feelings. I like it because it has some subtle pops of color. Um, is it what I was going for? No, but I wouldn't say it turned out horrible. I do like it. I'm not sure about the color choices. That might be what's throwing me off. But all in all, I think it, if I were to, like color in that star or add some embellishments, I think it would look pretty cool. This one is the same thing, the dirty pour, but in the jar. It's what I had left over. And yeah, this one has definitely more color. Again, in the first one, most of the blue came out in the pour and very little color. This one was obviously the rest of the color. That's why I said maybe I should have swirled it more, and then maybe I would have got more color in the tray. But yeah, that one was okay too. Again, think it's the color choice. And this is the one where I just put drops in the white, gave it a little swirl, and then poured. Um, it gave me interesting patterns, which I wasn't really expecting, and they're all different. And oddly, the colors blended to make this weird green color, um, and some other colors, which I didn't think blue and green would do that. I thought it would just turn like a turquoise, if anything, but it's like I got dark blues, I got like a dark, I can't even think of the color, like an army green. And yeah, it's weird. I don't know what happened here. But yeah, I probably would use different colors and maybe just pour in one direction instead of like all the different directions I poured in. Maybe I'll get more even swirls. That would probably look a little better. But that's the only thing I can think to do differently with this one. And I just poured the extra of this one into like the lid of the other jar I just showed you. So it doesn't match, but you could see what it looks like. This one I really like. I think it came out a little better. The color's a little more muted. The swirls are more muted. And so I don't think it's too bad. I just have to get the ratio, I guess, right, of pigment and Resincrete. Now this one's my favorite, which is surprising. I didn't think this would work. This is the one where I colored the Resincrete first, then dropped it in layers. I got a really nice marble out of this. I'm really surprised, especially with Resincrete. So this would probably be my favorite out of the three. I like the marbling. There's probably like one spot that kind of just dropped on the top, but other than that, I love the way it blends together. So I will definitely try this again. Definitely my favorite. And it worked just as well in the taller jar. But it does not look great, but the reason is again because it was already cured or like curing as I was pouring. So yeah, it's not the best, obviously, like in its entirety, but I do like the subtle marbling in it. Obviously, if I would have mixed up a fresh batch, this probably would have looked a lot better, but I still like some of the marbling that I got. So I think the method itself is something that I will do in the future. And the dirty pour in the tray, not too bad. It actually fits the tray. It kind of gives it that like moody look, I guess, and the subtle marbling that comes through. So yeah, all in all, I say I didn't really have any like big failures. For once, it actually all kind of worked in different ways. But yeah, let me know what you think. Oh, this is just the leftover in the cup. I'm gonna keep it and use it in another project. but I'm just showing you. I love the way it marbled and swirled. It cured before I could pour it into anything else, so we're just going to keep that for extras. But yeah, anyway, let me know what you think in the comments, and if you would like to see anything different or what your experience is with it. I'm really interested in knowing everyone's opinions, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.